Wow, quite the turnout this morning. I think that's just a sign of what the impact of Nilka was on our community here. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcus Fischer. I'm the Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence. I want to welcome all of you here this morning to our memorial ceremony for Nilka Alvarez Rodriguez. And as you all know, she was a community activist. She was, for an extended period of time, a city councilor. But for us at the Boys and Girls Club, she was a champion of youth for the youth of Lawrence. And so I feel it is really fitting to welcome you to this ceremony here at the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence. The honor to be the recipient of the support that you're going to receive here today. And I look around here in the room, and I see quite a number of faces that are alums of our club. And a special welcome to all of you who were part of this organization as you were growing up. It's my great pleasure now to introduce the Mayor of Lawrence, Mayor De Peña, up here, and he will say a few words about that.
Thank you, and good afternoon. City of Lawrence is a great city. Not because somebody called it's a great city. It's because for his residents. And I remember, I want to say thank you and welcome. That's a great opportunity for say thank you, God, because many years ago, Nilka Rodriguez and his family I know it's a great opportunity for make one big decision, move the city of Lawrence. I remember when, in my case, I take a big decision. I remember when I tell my daughter, my son, my wife, my family, I moved to Lawrence, Massachusetts. I don't have an idea, maybe 25 years ago, about nothing about the city of Lawrence. Only the people told me in New York, that's the Tenares people city, because many people from Tenares live in Lawrence. And I surprised because Lawrence is a more important city for the community Dominican, but for a specific one community, Tenares. When I visited the city of Lawrence, I remember many houses closed, many companies moved to another town. When I brought my family for visit the first time, my wife told me, that's a city you take it for your family? And I said, yes. And I want to say thank you, Chris and his family, Nilka Alvarez, for taking the right decision. I take the right decision when I moved to Lawrence. I want to say thank you, welcome again, and the more important for the city of Lawrence is the legacy, especially for political class. Nilka Alvarez living great legacy, because when she came from New York, she not put an excuse for involved in the community. The first week, the first month, first year, Nilka take action for move the city of Lawrence forward. And that's the reason Lawrence is another community. You remember Mayor Mike Sullivan. When you win the first year, I remember when you visited my home, and I tell him, listen, I think you have the capacity for move the city forward. It's not easy, and many houses is born, many people move to another town, but I continue with legacy because I remember you give big support to business owners, and that's the reason in this moment I have 5 different companies serving to the city of Lawrence, because you remember when everybody in the city of Lawrence moved to another town, you said, Little Moran, I know you remember, Merrimack, nobody wanted investment $1 in Merrimack Street. And you organized the whole community. And you said, it's possible, move the city of Lawrence forward. And that's the reason I'll be here today. And I said, thank you, City of Lawrence, for support not only my family, for support my business, and for support another business in the City of Lawrence. Thank you, Rich. Thank you for taking the right decision in the moment when you're telling me, listen, I need to move to another town, and take the right decision to move to the City of Lawrence. You engross the City of Lawrence, your family, and the new generation. Thank you so much, and God bless you, and continue the big legacy, Nilka A living for the whole community. God bless the City of Lawrence, and God bless America, and welcome again.
So now that we heard from the current mayor of Lawrence, I would like to invite to come up to the microphone the former mayor of Lawrence, Michael Sullivan.
Thank you, Marcus. Mayor DePena, thank you. I got to share with you, this morning we had the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce mayors and managers breakfast, and there was representatives from the surrounding communities, and I tell you, Mayor DePena hit it out of the park. He did. He talked about the economic development, about the businesses that are coming into the city, that are continuing to come into the city, the small family-owned companies that are opening up here. And you did a great job this morning, Mayor, so thank you for being there as well. But that brings me to the person, why we're here. I got to share just a couple of thoughts with you about Nilka. This is going back in the year 2000, 24 years ago. I was first elected to the city council. Nilka was first elected to the city council. Representative Devers was elected to the city council. So the three of us were, and I believe Mark LaPlante, that was your first. You were already in. So he was a veteran. The three of us got out when we knew it. LaPlante stayed in. So we all got sworn in together. It was January of 2000, and what I really enjoyed thinking back about those days is when we were all campaigning. Everybody campaigned in a friendly, team way. And I got to share a couple of stories about your best half, Richard. She invited me to a fundraiser. There's a little club on Park and Broadway. I don't think it's there anymore. It's back in 2000. And we had, Mark and Chris were young, and my kids were young, and it was a fundraiser. It was at night. We had them in a bar room on Park Street. That's what we did back then. And our kids all connected in the corner because we all found out that they liked professional wrestling. They were all fans of the WWF, right? Chris and Mark. So Chris and Mark helped my kids, and we began kind of campaigning together as a team. Councilor Devers, LaPlante as well. And then we get elected. So remember, Nilka had a Saturday morning meeting at the Arlington School in the basement. This would have been probably February of 2000. And she invited me. I was a councilor at large, so I represented the whole city. And I lived up in Mount Vernon, which was the real wealthy section of the city, as everybody would say. So Nilka invited me to the meeting, and it was about 40 people that just lived in the Arlington area that were in the basement of the Arlington School. And Nilka was organizing her first meeting. And she had me say a few words just about myself, what our plans were, and I said to Nilka, everybody's just kind of staring at me with a blank stare, and she said, well, that's because you don't know Spanish at all. And she was my interpreter, and she did a great job, and she helped me a lot. And then when we were sworn in, we were on the Housing Committee and the Ordinance Committee at the City Council. And for all of you, and Mrs. Toomey is here, she knows Roger, those are the long meetings that get out sometimes at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And Frank, you chaired those meetings many times too. So, but Nilka was always there. And Nilka was passionate about people, about the underserved. That's why she connected with a place like the Boys and Girls Club. All the community organizations that she knew could help people that live in this city, that not only would help the parents, but would also help the kids as they grew up. So the Boys and Girls Club, the outreach that Nilka did was absolutely incredible. Even in her sickest moments, while she was still on the city council, she would show up to meetings. And I really had so much respect for her working together. When I was mayor for the 8 years, Nilka was on the city council, and she was an advocate for people in Lawrence. She didn't always agree with a policy or something you were trying to get approved, but she always had her heart and soul in this city. And she will be missed, but this dedication, and Richard and you continuing on with what she would want you to be doing, serving people of the city. So 100 years from now, Nilka's name will be always affiliated with this Boys and Girls Club. And all of you that are here have all worked with her, so you all know her and you all loved her, and that's why you're here. So thank you, Nilka. Hopefully she's up there looking down on us, and we're here continuing to fight for the great city of Lawrence. So thank you all.
So every time when we talk to our kids about the possibilities of their life path, we always mention Mike Sullivan, who was he was an alum of our club, and we tell our kids, you can be the next mayor of Lawrence. And so that's how it works. It's my great pleasure now to ask Gabriela Spinola to come up here for the check presentation.
Thank you, everyone, and it is a pleasure to be here today and support this initiative. So I just want to say a couple of words before we actually present the check. It is my honor and support to pay homage to Nilka A, Rodriguez, our veteran of the U.S. Air Force, of Lawrence, a loved one, an educator, and so much more. Her initiative behind our platform served as a Latino woman was fueled by her own commitment of placing human rights and equality. And at the forefront of all multicultural communities, not only as a matter of human human rights, but because it was crucial for her to achieve sustainable results to making Lawrence better. And I must say, everyone in Lawrence is happy. So whatever you guys have in your water and you're drinking, I want some. Okay? I just want to say that. I think that the other piece to everything that she did, and I could be here all day, but she wanted to broaden her community and make it better. When I think of Nilka, these words come to mind: strong, beautiful, amazing, activist, community leader, tenacity, go-getter, trailblazer, and a pioneer. She will truly be missed, but her legacy will be carried on forever. This brick is a presentation and appreciation of her greatness and solitude to the communities that she served. Her advocacy for youth set amazing tones and gives us the ability to do more. So we are here today, and all of us in this room can do more. And I believe that she would be so proud looking down today and thanking all of you for participating in giving her flowers, because she truly deserved it. And last but not least, I just want to say that Lawrence is the city of change. You guys all are at the forefront, and you guys make change every day. When you don't agree with something and you stand for something and you believe in it, and you make change. And lastly, I just want to leave you with the great words of Michelle Obama, because when you become a leader, the most important thing you have is your word and trust. And so thank you, everyone, and it is with my honor and privilege to present this check in Nilka's honor. Thank you.
In the springtime, we will memorialize Nilka with a brick in our brick patio that we have in front of our club. And this wouldn't be able without the support that we just received. So thank you so much again for being here this morning. And I would like Nilka's husband to come up here and say, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so we have one more speaker from the State Auditor's Office here. If you would please come up here.
Being audited, Richard. I promise you're not.
Our books are good.
No, we won't do that. My name is Phil DiFalagero. I work for a familiar face to many of us, State Auditor Diana Desaglio, who for many years represented Lawrence as a state representative and continued to be an advocate for the city as a state senator. I actually got to know Richard and Nilka many years ago working for former Senator Barbara L'Italian, and I just want to say personally, as someone who was born and raised in North Andover, a lot of admiration for Nilka and Richard, who always made sure that the suburbs understood that we can't thrive and the region can't thrive if Lawrence isn't thriving. And Nilka was especially strong at being that type of ambassador for the city, not just with an individual like me, but with plenty of other leaders, including Auditor Desaglio. So Auditor Desaglio and I were talking about this, and she was coming up with this very long list of ways that Nilka made an impact. And so I don't know that you want me to read all of this, Richard, or if you just want to frame it, you can put it up. I'm going to take that. He shook his head, so I want the record to show I don't have to read it, but there's a lot of admiration that's had from people outside of Lawrence for the work that you and Nilka did together in Lawrence and beyond to make sure the whole region was stronger and better for it. So thank you, Richard, and thank you to Nilka and her memory.
Walked away with my agenda. So the closing remarks will now come from Richard Rodriguez, and then we'll just hang out if you like to. Come on in.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone.
everyone for coming this cold day. I received a lot of phone calls of some people couldn't make it because the battery died. So thank you for coming and to show your appreciation to my wife, Nilka A. Rodriguez. Also, I'd like to thank We Care 365 Foundation for sponsoring this event. Thank you very much. And this is not the first time they sponsored an event in Lawrence. They also gave a grant to Asperger Works for financial support. So they're new to the city, but they have been very active since the day I met them over 2 years ago. Thank you again. Everyone's very important, but I'm going to try to recognize some of the elected and important officials. From the beginning, we have Anna Levy, City Council at Large. We have Frank Moran, State Representative. We also serve with my wife, when she served almost with everyone here, by the way. My boss, the mayor of Silver Lawrence, Brian Pena. City Councilor at Large, Selena Reyes. And Mark LaPlante. My wife was the first one who served the longest. She served a total of 14 years, but Mark beat that already. School community, Jonathan Guzman. And of course, my former boss, Mayor Michael J. Sullivan. One of my best judges here that I have practiced in front of, retired Judge John Newman. Mark Newman. And one of my favorite publicists, and always print my publication, Daya Diaz for Rumble Newspaper. And got Mother Velez, who I work very closely now, for the Henry, director. We have a city council, I cannot pronounce your name, I hate this. What, can you pronounce your name? Oh, okay, I thought you were still listening. Okay, what's your name? Sorry about that. We have the wife, we share a lot of things in common. Her husband also served in the city council and served with my wife, Marilyn Turin, who was the wife of the late Robert. And we have the city attorney, Tim, I cannot pronounce your last name. And we have the acting school superintendent, Juan Rodriguez. And we have she has many titles here: former state rep, former state senator, still community activist. She's the second director of the Disability Law Center, Barbara Atali. And I have a special friend of mine who I've worked before. He's with the exclusive program, with CPCS program, John Lasada. And I have one of the persons I also served with when he was the former mayor and former state representative and former city council. Oh, this long title is long. I'm running out of breath. Okay, Michael Stever. Okay, and also I'd like to thank Heavenly Donor, the mayor donation for some of the food and coffee. So thank you for bringing that along. And we also got representative of Asperger Works, where I served as advisory board member. And speaking about advisory board, we also have Mike I can't pronounce your last name, Mike Mumble, how you pronounce that? He is the acting director of the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination, where I serve as advisory board too. So once again, thank you all for coming. So I'd like to share a very short story when I met my wife. I met my wife 32 years. I met her in a fundraiser, raising money for youth program. And we got along right away. She called me one day to have dinner because she was planning to run for state representative, not state representative, it's called state senate over New York City. So she was asking me to become a campaign manager, which I did. So when I asked her, what is she planning for home? Every answer had woman to it. You know, I want equal pay for women. I want equal job for women. You know, equal. So I got a little frustrated, you know. My first fight, my first disagreement with my wife, I said, okay, equal. So when the check came, I got my calculator, I divided into half. Of course, you know, people always say, hey, the man's supposed to take care of the bill, but my response is an equal balance check. And so to make matters worse, when we walked into the door, I did not open the door for her. I let her open the door for me. You know, I'll try and prove a point. Now, I believe in equal right for women, but I'll try to prove a point. There also got to be a balance, you know. So you know, I was a campaign manager, and you know, we got together, and you know, we fell in love, and I lived with her. And the good things about her is, when I met her, I just completed a prestigious internship with the New York State Assembly. I live right next to the governor's mansion. And when I finished, I was very young. When I finished, I did not plan what happened when I finished the internship. Will I have a home? So I didn't put that in the equation. So I was practically homeless and jobless too. So she was very kind to let me stay over her house. And over time we fell in love. And also, she had a gentleman who was the dean of a college. And he used to look at me dirty all the time. Said, why are you so nasty to me? And I found out because he was her boyfriend before she met me. So she left the dean for me. So, as you know, we survived, 31 years, and we have continued to be together. So, you all know about her background, serving in the city council, serving with the state, and also serving as a professor. And Nilka is a model for people with disability. I could see, like Mayor Sullivan said, sick or no sick, you see her in the city council. Sometimes I felt like, the short Einstein, the wheelchair, I used to drive my wife to the city council. So I felt like I was the assistant police to the chief, taking her to the city council. I don't mind. So that's how I relate myself. And one thing that people love about me, and they still remember, after I dropped her off, I would bring a Dunkin' Donut coffee. And people used to say, hey, you can do a commercial. He bring me Dunkin' Donut coffee to every city council meeting. So they kept joking, and if I forget the coffee, they would remind me, hey, where's the coffee? So I could continue, but once again, I'd like to thank everyone, particularly We Care 365 for their sponsorship. And very quickly, Mike also was correct about my wife didn't want to move out. My plan was, as you all see me, was to finish law school, get my degree, and move back to New York. But she put her She put her foot down and said, no, we're not moving, we stay in Lawrence.
You're a smart husband.
You know, I thought the adage was the man rules the house. That's not true with her. So, once again, thank you very much, and we have some food photo over there to take.